Hey everyone, hope you're great. We're starting out with a pep talk today. I'd kind of given a pep talk at the end of last week, and we're going to continue. So, here is this quote it says, "Success isn't always about greatness, it's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come." Said by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who is an actor. What he is meaning is that consistency means that you do it regularly, like every day. You can't just be dedicated to your work one day of the week. You have to be dedicated to your work every day of the week in order to be successful. And like I had talked to you at the end of last week, this is you. This is your life. And this year you have the opportunity to be in control of your own destiny by being accountable for your work and the quality of your work. And that is only going to do good things for you. Will it make your teachers happy? Absolutely, it will. But in the end, who does it help the most? You. That's who it helps. So consistently work hard and success will come. Now, let's talk about author's purpose. Author's purpose is really a skill that you're taught in third or fourth grade, but I felt like after those questions on some of the assignments we had last week that I probably needed to go over it as well. So, right here, and I know there's a lot of other anchor charts here, but right here it says author's purpose, easy as pie. So there are three basic reasons that authors write. One is to persuade. The author is trying to get you to do or try something. And so examples of that would be commercials on TV when they're trying to get you to buy something, or billboards that you see on the side of the highway that are trying to get you to stop at that Wendy's at the next exit, advertisements in the newspaper that are trying to get you to maybe go to the grocery store because they got to sell on meat this week, opinions in the newspaper. We call them editorials because people write letters to the editor and give them their opinions and trying to make other people think the same way. Reviews, like if you've ever read a review on a video game that you wanted to buy, or if there's something on Amazon you wanted to buy and you're trying to see if it's good, a good product, you could go to the bottom and read the reviews from what other people who have bought it said. They're trying to get you to feel the way they feel about the product. And so that's persuade. Political ads, we are seeing a lot of those right now. And that's where each of the candidates tries to get you to vote for them. So that's persuade. Inform. The author is trying to give you information and teach you facts. So this is just straight up facts. Nobody's trying to make you or do anything or make you feel a certain way. This is just straight up facts. Like documentaries. If you were to watch a documentary about World War II, it should just give you facts. You know, this happened at this time, this happened at this time. Nonfiction, which is facts. You know, we're talking about nonfiction text structures right now, and we're talking about text that just has facts. Maybe history or science text or videos, even that you watch. Like you've been watching videos right now about Native Americans. Those are to inform you. That's the purpose of them. News articles, reading news articles, you hope that news articles are just giving you facts. Sometimes they have what we call a bias, and we'll talk about that in the next unit. But you hope that news articles are just giving you facts. Recipes, steps on how to make a brownie sundae. That is just facts, and it's to inform you how to do it. Biographies. We read really a biographical text. Bio means life. We're learning with our Greek root words, and graph means written. So biographical means something written about somebody's life. And we read that passage last week about Sally Ride's life, and it went from when she was born to when she passed away. And so that's what we call a biography because it was her written life. It was the story of her life. So that would be inform. All of those would be to inform. Then entertain. The author is trying to make you enjoy the story by keeping the reader's attention. So this is all your fiction, like, fantasy, Harry Potter, mystery, like, A to Z mysteries, if you've ever read those, or I'm trying to think, Bailey School Kids would be another one. Comics and jokes, like all these graphic novels, Captain Underpants, that would be to entertain you. Adventure would be to entertain you. I'm thinking like maybe and this would kind of also go in the mystery genre as well, but Magic Tree House, that series. And then romance, novels that are about love, that would also be to entertain you. Poetry is to entertain you. Drama, which are plays that you would go see, would be to entertain you. So all of that is to entertain you. So these are the 3 reasons authors write, the 3 main reasons. I talk about one more other when we get farther into the year, but you can remember, because author's purpose is easy as pie. P, persuade, I, inform, and E, entertain. All right, here's what's next. We are going to start talking about sentences this week. We are done with parts of speech, reviewing parts of speech. We're moving on to sentences, and we need to start with talking about what a complete sentence is. So a complete sentence is a sentence that has a subject and a predicate. So in your work today, it says a sentence is a complete thought. All sentences have a subject and a predicate. So a subject, the subject of a sentence, tells who or what the sentence is about. So the girl skipped rope at recess. The girl is the subject. So you just got to ask yourself, who or what is this sentence about? That would be the subject. Well, the subject of this sentence is the girl. Okay, the girl skipped rope at recess. Skipped rope at recess would be the predicate. So basically, when you're younger, like in 1st and 2nd grade, they might talk about complete sentences having a naming part and a telling part. The subject is the naming part, and the predicate is the telling part. This next sentence, the girl is very good at it, is very good at it, is the telling part. It tells what the subject did. So the predicate of the sentence tells what the subject is doing or what the subject is. So you got to ask yourself, what is the subject, what the subject is doing, or what the subject is? That would be the predicate. So let's try a few. This is just like your work today, only different sentences. I'm not going to circle because I don't have any tools to do that right now, but in your assignment, you are going to circle the subject and underline the predicate. So the students played at recess. What's the subject? The students. What did they do? Played at recess. So played at recess is the predicate. Number 2, Sarah loved to win at hopscotch. Who's it about? Sarah. She's the subject. What did Sarah do? Love to win at hopscotch. That's the predicate. Number 3, Sam and Jane swung as high as they could on the swings. Who is the sentence about? Sam and Jane. They are the subjects. That's actually what we call a compound subject because there are 2 of them. What is the predicate? Swung as high as they could on the swings because that's what they did. So that is the predicate. 4, Mandy slid down the slide. Who's it about? Mandy. What did she do? Slid down the slide. So Mandy is the subject. Slid down the slide is the predicate. Number 5, Mike practiced throwing the basketball into the hoop. Who's it about? Mike. Mike is the subject. What did he do? Practice throwing the basketball into the hoop. So that's the predicate. Number 6, the teachers watched the children play. Who's the sentence about? The teachers. That's the subject. What did they do? Watch the children play. So that's the predicate. Watch the children play. Number 7, the day was very hot. What's the subject of this sentence? The day. What did the day do? It was very hot. So the day is the subject, was very hot is the predicate. Number 8, the bell rang when recess was over. Who's the subject? The bell. What did the bell do? Rang when recess was over. So that's the predicate, rang when recess was over. Okay, you ready for these 2? These 2 are for you. The students lined up quietly. Let me try that again. The students lined up quietly. What's the subject of this sentence? Absolutely right. It would be the students. And of course, the predicate is lined up quietly. Now, number 10, next. Next sentence, also yours. The line leader led the kids into the school building. What's the predicate? Well, the subject is the line leader. So that's the subject. The predicate would be led the kids into the school building. So in our assignment today, after you watch the Ed puzzle video, and by the way, everything this week is Halloween themed. You're welcome. Just a little celebratory, trying to be a little festive there. So I changed everything up as a Halloween theme. But after you've watched this Ed puzzle video, which is worth 30 points of your grade, so make sure you watch the whole thing. You can go back over, I've read through this, but you can go back over what the subject of a sentence is and what the predicate is. And then using your shape tool, of course, you're going to circle, draw a circle, and then you can click the bucket and click transparent to make it see-through. So you're going to circle the predicate, and you're going to, we know the line tool, you're going to underline the predicate. So circle the subject, underline the predicate. That's what you're doing today, okay? Each of those are worth 2 points, so 10 points total for this page. So you're already 40 points in, because 30 points for watching this video, 10 points for these 5 sentences. So then let's talk about what's next. We've been talking about text structure. So we've done the language and the grammar. Now we're going to talk about reading and text structure. So I found a fun little video for you to watch. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back here. All right. So here's a fun little video about text structure.
Julio jumps on in about 1 minute. Complete your final gear checks now.
Surprise! It's time to play Name That Text Structure. We're the only game show that shows up wherever you are and asks you to name that text structure. Oh yeah! Hi, sir. Are you ready to play Name That Text Structure?
Back in line, Skydiver.
I'm no skydiver. I'm just here to read you a passage.
But what?
There's been an increase in the amount of gobs of chewed gum on the sidewalk in front of the school. Be sure to put your chewed gum into a trash can. If you are seen spitting it on the sidewalk, you will have to clean the sidewalks. Okay, sir, can you name that text structure?
That's definitely problem and solution.
And why do you think it's problem and solution?
The passage starts out defining the problem. Gobs of chewed up gum on the sidewalk. But then it offers a clear solution. Put your chewed gum in the trash. Problem and solution is my favorite text structure.
Well, problem and solution is absolutely correct. You've done it. You've named that text structure. Oh yeah!
That's great. Now it's your turn.
Huh?
See, the thing is, having you block the door is a problem. Do you know what the solution is?
No. What is it? Ah!
All right, people. Who's ready to skydive?
All right, so there was our fun little video on text structure. Now, looking here, just to review with you, because I know it's been a whole weekend, so let's review. We have 5 main text structures: description, compare and contrast, order and sequence, problem and solution, cause and effect. So, description is a text that provides details or characteristics of something, okay? Characteristics is a very clue word, I should say, a big clue to description. So in description, you're going to see adjectives like describing words. Adjectives are describing words. And even adjectives that we call comparative adjectives, because they have ER on the end, like taller, better, smaller, because they compare two things. You're also going to see in description text examples of it. That's going to paint a mental picture in your mind. So if you read a text and you're like, man, I can see that in my mind from their description, it's probably a description text structure. Here would be, a graphic organizer that you could use where you have the topic in the middle and then it has the characteristics out to the side. An example would be ice cream is a frozen, sugary, sweet delicacy. The treat comes in flavors like vanilla. So, see, it's using a lot of adjectives: frozen, sugary, sweet. And then it gives you an example of flavors like vanilla. That's description. Compare and contrast. Compare tells you how things are like a pair of shoes are alike. This text talks about similarities and differences between people, places, things. So you might see some clues like same, different, both, neither, in contrast. On the other hand, those would be clue words for compare and contrast. There's many others. However, although, while, many others, but there's some of them. So you could compare things with two different idea webs like we have here, or you could use a Venn diagram. An example of compare and contrast would be, although both ice cream and veggies are food, ice cream is less healthy and eaten as dessert. Veggies, however, are a side dish to a meal. So there it's telling you how they're both alike, they're both food, but how they're both different. One is a meal and one is dessert. That would be compare and contrast. Order and sequence. We talked about two kinds. One is talking about chronological order, like a biography, the story of somebody's life, where you have events in order or the history of something. So the text outlines chronological events. Chrono means time, and I've got that down here in the corners, just covered up by my picture right now. But chron means time. It's the Greek root word for time. So chronological order means in the order of time. Or you could have sequential order, which is steps in a procedure. So some clues would be order of events, like years and dates. If you're hearing the history of something, that would be chronological order. Or maybe you're hearing sequential order, where it's steps, like step 1, step 2, step 3. You might see words like first, next, although, before. You could also, if it's chronological order, besides dates and years, you might also see like once you have the flame going, like some of us read in that one passage last week. Or you might hear at the age of 10, or when she graduated from college. Those would also be clues to chronological order. And of course, chronological order, you've got one event and events coming in a specific order. An example would be, want delicious ice cream? First, scoop it into a bowl. Then top it with goodies like sprinkles. Finally, grab a spoon and enjoy. So there's steps to a procedure right there, sequential. Problem and solution. The text gives information about a problem and explains one or more solutions. You might see words like problem, solution. You could also see a lot of others like difficulty, harm, help, to prevent would also signal problem and solution. But it's a lot like cause and effect, and you might even in problem solution text see words like cause and effect and result, but you can distinguish between problem solution and cause and effect because in problem solution there's going to be a problem and there's going to be at least one solution to that problem. Here's an example. If your ice cream melts before you finish it, put it back into the freezer. So there's a problem and how to solve it. The last one, and I'm going to move my mouse up here so maybe that this black box will kind of disappear. At the very bottom, it talks about cause and effect. This text describes an event, the causes, and the effects that follow, so the results of that cause. You might see words like cause, effect, because, as a result, due to, if, then. So you might have one cause and many effects, or you might have one effect and many causes. Like I said, this can get really confusing as far as whether a text is problem, solution, or cause and effect, but you got to think. Does it have a problem that was solved? If it's only got problems and then tells the causes of those problems, it's still cause and effect. Okay? So an example of cause and effect at the very bottom there in orange, if melted ice cream gets on your hand, your skin will be sticky. So see, there's no solution there. The melted ice cream getting on your hand would be a problem, but there's no solution given. It just tells what the result of that would be, your hand being sticky and dirty. So there would be the difference between cause and effect. Okay, now let's talk about your assignment today. It says step 5, read the passage, circle your answer, and underline one sentence of the text evidence. One sentence of text evidence. This is 60 points, 10 points each. So 10 points for each card. There are 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 10 points for each card. So you have to answer it. So you have to read, first of all, the passage. The Vancouver Island marmot is a kind of large rodent that lives high in the mountains of Vancouver Island in Canada. Climate change and logging have caused a large decrease in their population. Scientists believe that there are less than 100 of them left in the wild. Okay, so which text structure is used in the paragraph? Well, I could eliminate. There's nothing being compared and contrasted because there are not two subjects. They're just talking about this animal called the Vancouver Island marmot. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I could eliminate sequence because it's not giving me steps in order, and it's not giving me events in order of time with dates or what I call timestamps. So that leaves me with description or cause and effect. Well, I noticed the clue word caused, and description would be characteristics. And it doesn't really tell me how the marmot looks or what the marmot eats. It is telling me something that is causing the decrease of their population. So I think that the best answer is cause and effect. And I could underline this sentence: climate change and logging have caused a large decrease in their population. I could underline that sentence of evidence because I know that is the clue word. And that proves or helps to prove that it's cause and effect. And you will do that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're done. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.